Haven't done one of these in a little while. And so Mustard dropped his new album, Faith of a Mustard Seed, I believe just last week. And to give a short synopsis of what I think about the album, it's just okay. There are some pretty good tracks on there. I really like Pressured Up with Schoolboy Q and Vince Staples. I do really like that West Coast kind of groove that song has. Parking Lot is still one of my favorite singles of the year. I think Travis brings one of his best performances. And I really like the beat, especially, of course, the Mustard production. But I really like, there's horns going through. I really like the vocal samples that are kind of laced through there, and it's a little bit more of a faster pace. I do really enjoy that song, and I do actually really like the outro. Even though it's about 10 minutes long, it does chronicle the Mustard as a person, coming from the church, being more of a drummer, trying to get more into music. And I really like, too, that it kind of just goes into an instrumental section towards the end of the album. And you do get some genuine, like, drum parts that sound really good. And for me as a drummer, I do really enjoy that. And I think the album tries its best to make a cohesive story, a cohesive theme throughout the entire runtime. I just think some songs don't really hit as well as others. And I do think that it falls into the same problems that producer albums have, where you can get varying performances and some of the songs are not the strongest in particular. There's no songs on this album that I feel are especially bad. I just feel that a lot of them either sound too similar, kind of that similar kind of West Coast Mustard production, or again, the features don't really bring much to the table. And overall, like, the album's like a 5. Like, the album is not absolutely terrible. But if anything, it does give some good moments. But the problem is that this is not the reason why I'm making this video. So, the album flopped. It sold about 18K first week. To put into contrast, I made the on Ice Spice. Ice Spice sold more. Ice Spice sold close to 20K, and Mustard sold close to 18K. So, this album is not doing well, to say the least. And Mustard is letting everyone know. He has gone in the past hour, as I'm recording this video, on a tangent, on a really interesting Twitter rant. There is a big thing about him going at the single with Drake and Gordo. I believe it's called Sideways. I haven't listened to the track yet. But he's claiming that bots are a part of it. My favorite tweet, and something that just really took me off guard, is one of the tweets calls the nation of Drizlom is insane. That is an insane tweet. Also said that album sales or album streams are the equivalent of white supremacy. It's crazy. So, and to put into contrast too, if you look at the Gordo and Drake single, it only has 8 million streams. It came out July 26th, which, if I really put into perspective, that was like last week. Like, it has 8 million streams. It really isn't popping off like that. Drake's stock is not really at the highest peak. I don't think it really caused an issue for this album to flop in sales as much as it did. And I think the big thing that happened with this is, like, of course, Not Like Us exists, and it's still very, very popular. As I'm recording this is number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100. I just think maybe the album should have came out maybe like a month earlier, or maybe a month ago. Because while the music video dropped, I think that was the peak or the crest of Not Like Us. Unless an album drops, unless Kendrick Lamar decides to drop an album, I think the song is going to slowly start making its decline down the charts and its decline in popularity. It's still going to be incredibly popular, obviously, but you kind of missed the boat of where you were extremely popular. Maybe what you could have done is that you could have dropped the album a couple of days after the music video dropped. That could have worked out very well. Or I think this is going to be probably the next thing that's going to occur. I'm just going to go into that really quick. What I think is going to happen, and I will put egg on my face, I will fully admit that I'm wrong. I've done this before. I thought when Culture was taken off of streaming, and I thought it was an anniversary drop that was going to occur, but no, that did not happen. But But what I feel is going to happen, this is just spitballing here, I think there's going to be a Faith of a Mustard Seed Deluxe. And it's going to have Not Like Us on the album. And that's going to bolster the streams. I think that is the plan that it's going to go. I feel like that's the next best step, because Mustard is going absolutely insane on Twitter and just going off like the album's just not selling well. And even still, and like to think about it too, like Parking Lot didn't really I think it's doing okay streaming wise, but I think on YouTube it's not doing the greatest. And I think it just plays into the album just being rather inconsistent, and you kind of gotten this sound before and probably got a little bit better. I just think the album was just a little bit average. And it's almost like the Ice Spice situation, where I think you had to kind of capitalize on the timing. The Not Like Us music video, even around the Not Like Us hype was really starting to build up. You could have maybe even pushed an EP instead of an album to really bring the best your A game to 4 or 5 songs. I feel like that maybe could have done you a little bit better. But I don't think Drake stands are the problem. I don't think this Gordo Drake Sideways single is the problem. I think it's just more into timing. And let's be honest, a lot of artists are in the kind of their flop era at the moment. There's still a lot of people that aren't recovering when it comes to album streams and album sales, all this kind of stuff. It's still a very prevalent problem that started back in 2020, and it's still heavy in effect. And not to mention too, I can think of the Metro Boomin and Future album. Of course, both of those are juggernauts, but I don't think Mustard has the same kind of household name factor as Metro Boomin does. Of course, there's the Not Like Us single that's popping off right now, and Mustard played a big part into that. But I think when you separate that, I don't know if Mustard at this current time has the same kind of household name factor that someone like a Metro Boomin has at the current moment. That's just a very quick video on what in the world is going on. And this is just bang, 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 bang over the span of an hour. So things are really popping off very quickly. We'll see how this goes. But what are your thoughts? Let me know. My friend is just showing up there. Thank you very much for watching, and I will talk to you again very soon.